Hey beauty babes, welcome to my channel. I'm Maria, aka Agape Love Girl. Thank you so much for joining me today. Well, today I'm back with another tag video. Today's tag was created by Alexandria Sutton here on YouTube, and she is a kind of a smaller creator, but she has really interesting content. She's very creative in the things that she talks about, in the topics that she brings up, and her videos and ideas are really fun. For example, one that I thought was really fun and creative was if brands were people, and she kind of described brands as people, and she just has a lot of cute content like that. Or cute, sorry, this might not be the right word, but you know what I mean. Like, I think it's fun, I think it's creative, I really like her content. So if you have not heard of her and you like creative and kind of chatty kind of YouTube makeup content as well, you'll probably really like her channel. So I definitely encourage you guys to check her out. I will leave her channel as well as her tag video in the description box. So with that, let's go ahead and get into it. So there are 10 questions, and I did take notes on my phone, so if I'm looking down, that's what I'm looking at. I wanted to I had a lot of thoughts as I was watching her video and as I was listening to the questions, so I kind of want to write down my own thoughts so I didn't forget by the time I had time to film this video. So anyways, so the first question is, if you had to pick a motto for what you'd like your 2019 makeup life to be like, what would it be? And so this is like kind of really hard for me. Like I don't know if this is necessarily a motto, but this is something that I kind of want for like my makeup and my channel kind of going into 2019. And what I wrote down was confident, consistent, creative. My goals are to be more confident. I feel like I can be so insecure about just so much in my life, but especially my YouTube channel. There's been you know, topics and things and videos and ideas that I've wanted to bring forth on my channel, and so much has stopped me from doing that. I feel like I've kind of towards the end of this year brought out a little bit of it, and it's been good, and I feel great about it, and I want to continue that forth into 2019. I want to be confident in what I have to bring to you and what I want to do on my channel, and not feel like I have to like do what everybody else is doing, or you know what I mean. So anyways, I just want to be more confident. I want to be consistent. Something that and I know this is like more for makeup life. I'm kind of thinking my YouTube motto makeup, I don't know, maybe this wasn't exactly the question, I'm kind of twisting it, but I kind of pulled it as my YouTube. Anyways, I'm consistent. I haven't always been the most consistent. I'm not someone who really has a schedule here on YouTube, or never had. I did kind of try to start doing that towards the middle of this year, and I was trying to kind of post on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays or Sundays to be consistent, and then I kind of got off schedule, and you know, it's been hard, but I do want to be more consistent. I would like to kind of have a schedule and keep it and just be consistent, because I feel like I will grow, and I have grown when I was doing that, and when I got off it was kind of lacking. So anyways, I just want to be consistent. And then the biggest thing is I want to be creative. There was a point, and I think I've talked about this a little bit before, but there was a point where I felt like I was super creative with my makeup, mostly when I was doing my blog. And I've talked about what I talked about before was I started my YouTube channel as an extension for my blog, because I used to share a bunch of makeup looks there, and people would always be like, how do you do this? I wish you had a YouTube channel, or you did videos so you can do tutorials and show us how you do this. And it was because I always did really fun, colorful looks, very creative looks. They weren't the best, mind you, because I was still very new at makeup, but I was a lot more creative back then and unafraid to like play with color. And I think as I like started doing YouTube more, I like just lost that creativity, and I don't know, I want to get that back. I would like to do more fun creative looks and just fun creative content. One example I have on here is that I've been wanting to do one of the Milk 1422 there on Instagram. They do these amazing creative face charts, and I have a bunch of their work saved to my phone. I would like to recreate one of the face charts, and I just never have, and I really want to. I want to be more creative in that aspect, and like be unafraid to do that, and that goes back to being confident. Like, I just be confident, be consistent, and be creative. That's kind of like what I want my motto to be for my makeup and my channel here in 2019. Also, you guys know me, I'm very chatty. I'm sorry this video is probably gonna be long and very chatty. Hopefully it'll be a little bit more concise because I do have my notes to look at, but anyways, let's go ahead and go into number 2. And it says, what one brand do you expect to come out with something groundbreaking in 2019? And I wrote down that it's really hard to say. It's hard to reinvent the wheel. So much has already been done, and it's hard to think of what will actually be groundbreaking. But I'm kind of rooting for Milani and Catrice. Now the reason why I chose Milani is because I do feel like they did do something pretty amazing this year. I don't know if it's exactly groundbreaking, but to me I found it pretty amazing. And I'm just going to kind of read what I wrote so I don't go off tangent. I feel like Milani did something pretty amazing this year when they came out with their larger palettes. While they had palettes for a long time, I do feel like when they came out with those 12-pan palettes, it was fairly groundbreaking for the drugstore. Everything from the quality of the shadows to the packaging was top-notch, and in my opinion just screamed high-end. Like, you could have, you know, fooled me and told me it was high-end. I would have believed it. And I think the price tag was really good. I feel like some people were kind of iffy about the $20 price tag, but for most people they could get the palette for $15, which is a really good price. And even at $20, I think it's a really, really good price. It was like the quality and the packaging, like everything was so worth it in my opinion for that price. But 15 is a really good price point too. And I just felt like they were giving high-end brands a run for their money and also raising the bar for drugstore. So I think that's really, really awesome. So to me, I find that kind of groundbreaking. You might disagree, but when I was thinking about it, that's kind of what came to mind for me personally. And so I kind of am rooting for them to do something groundbreaking, or at least continue on with like raising the bar for drugstore. And I also want to mention Catrice, just because they too are very, very affordable, if not more affordable even than Milani. But the quality of their products is literally, in my opinion, mind-blowing. They perform just as good, if not better, than a lot of the high-end products that I at least have personally tried. To me, I feel like to bring such great quality at such low prices is amazing and almost groundbreaking in its own right as well. And saying that, I know that like it's really not new and groundbreaking to have really good quality products at really affordable prices, because I know that brands like ColourPop and there are others who are kind of doing the same thing. But for me personally, I just feel like while ColourPop is great, the quality's good. To me, I just don't look at ColourPop and think, oh, I could totally confuse this with high-end. Not that they're not good quality, they really, really are, and they have great prices. But I just feel like, to me, I don't look at ColourPop and go, oh, that could totally be high-end. Maybe that's just me, but I do feel like that if you slap the high-end label on Catrice products, especially their HD foundation that kind of has been, you know, all the buzz recently, you totally could fool me. I would believe that it was a high-end foundation. And so for the low price tag of it, it's just like, it's mind-blowing to me. All that to say is I just feel like they have the ability to bring something groundbreaking to the table in the sense of quality as well as affordability. So I don't know. I don't know if that really counts or that makes sense to you guys, but that's kind of what came to mind with this question. Question number 3 is, what brand do you think will be burnt out in 2019? And I could be totally wrong on this one, but I'm just gonna say it. I really think that ColourPop will be burnt out. While they do have a strong cult following, I do feel like I have noticed quite a bit of people who are really sick and tired of the constant releases. It's too much. It's just too much. Like, it's definitely one of those quantity over quality kind of things. And I guess I can't really speak to that because I haven't purchased a ton from ColourPop recently. They kind of go in the back of my mind now. I don't even really hardly notice when they release something because they are always releasing something. So they could still be good quality, but part of me just feels like whatever happened to quality over quantity, whatever happened to putting a lot more time and thought and effort into a launch and having like 4 launches a year instead of, you know, 24 launches a year. It's like they're releasing multiple launches and multiple products every single month, and it's kind of like this is enough. Like, I don't know. why it's just too much. It's done. At least in my opinion. I don't even really think about ColourPop that often anymore, and I kind of feel like people are getting sick of it too, so maybe, I don't know, I could be wrong, but that's just my thought. Speaking of ColourPop, that's going to segue us right into question number 4, and this is name 3 influencers you think ColourPop will collab with in 2019. I feel like they're notorious for collabing with just like almost anybody kind of, but these 3 people are people they have not collabed with yet that I totally think are very, very deserving of a collab. 2 of them are people that Alexandria had already mentioned in her video, but it's funny because as soon as she said the question, these first 2 people popped into my head right away, and then she said them. So if you've seen her video, you already know 2 of my answers, but I'm still going to say it because I totally agree. And the first 2 people would be that girl Shay and then Raw Beauty Christy. Both of those are very, very deserving influencers who have really shown a lot of love to ColourPop, and I am surprised they haven't collabed or done any kind of like maybe paid sponsorships even or something with ColourPop, because they totally deserve it. They give lots of love to ColourPop. Both of those are beauty influencers or content creators that I feel like are very genuine, very humble, people that I actually really trust and watch and enjoy. Not only are they both entertaining, but I feel like they're one of the, you know, bigger YouTubers out there who you can trust what they have to say. So anyways, the last one on my list is an Instagrammer. Her name is Flo, and she goes by Futilities More. I think that's what it is. Futilities More, I think that's how it's pronounced. And she is more of an account that does like swatches, product shots, and dupes. If you're not familiar with her page, I'll put a couple pictures maybe on the screen just so you guys can see. I feel like she's a pretty well-known Instagrammer, but anyways, she seems very, very sweet. A lot of the products she dupes, she'll like dupe other high-end palettes with single shadows. A lot of them are from ColourPop, as well as like Makeup Geek and other things like that, but I feel like she features ColourPop a lot. She's very, very creative in the sense that like sometimes she'll post her own like palette. If she were to come up with a palette, she'll pull singles from different brands and kind of create her own little palette. I'll put one on the screen that I saw recently and I was like, this is beautiful. If this were an actual palette, I would so buy it in a heartbeat. She's just very, very creative. She's obviously very passionate in what she does. Her photos are beautiful, her swatches are beautiful, and she obviously is well knowledgeable about shadows and colors and things like that. And I just think it would be really, really neat to see her collab with ColourPop, because she definitely has an eye for like color schemes and for like palettes and things like that. So I don't know, I think she's really, really deserving of a person. So I guess I don't know if that really answers the question. It's like, who do I think ColourPop will collab with? I don't know if they will collab, but these are people that I think that they should collab with. Let's just say that. Number 5, do you think the 2019 color of the year will be reflected in the makeup world? The color of the year for the wow. So the Pantone color of the year for 2019 is Vivid Coral or Living Coral or something like that. And I love coral. Coral's such a beautiful, fun color. I especially love to like wear the color. Well, I say that, but you guys never see me wearing coral, but like I have a few coral pieces in my wardrobe and I just think they're so, so beautiful, especially in the summer. I just love it against tan skin. Anyways, rabbit trail out of the way, I wrote, yes, I said for a little bit in the beginning of the year, because it does seem that that's always when the color of the year is the most popular. Then interest seems to fade after the first 2 or 3 months. You don't really hear about the color of the year anymore. And Alexandria mentioned this as well, but it is true that Sephora usually always has some kind of collaboration with Pantone for the color of the year, and they do like release blushes or like whatever. And so anyway, so I do think it will be reflected, but I don't think it'll be like remain super popular. I feel like it'll be just like how it is every year, you know, for the first few months, and then people will forget. But here's how I think that that the color will come up. I said, I imagine it will mostly show up in nail polishes and lipsticks and maybe even blushes. And then I said a coral themed palette would be nice, but we will see. I know that I feel like coral can kind of be a little bit intimidating of a color for people to wear, especially in makeup, but it really is such a beautiful color that I personally think is a color that anybody can wear. No matter your skin tone, I feel like coral is a flattering color for everyone. Totally disagree with me if you want to, but that's my opinion. It's a beautiful color, and I do think it would be nice to see it incorporated more into makeup next year. Number 6 is, what trends in eyeshadow palettes do you see coming in 2019? My answer is kind of twofold. So what I think we will see more of in trends with eyeshadow palettes is more small or mini color focused palettes like the Huda Beauty Gemstone palettes and the Urban Decay On the Run mini palettes. That, like I said, they're a little bit more color focused and they're smaller palettes at smaller price points. I think for high-end brands, I feel like this will be a trend, because I feel like now when there's so much makeup and so much products out there, it's getting harder, at least in my opinion, because I'm not really attracted to the big ones anymore, but I feel like it's probably getting a lot harder for brands to be able to sell big palettes or full palettes, because I mean, how many times can you reinvent the wheel? You didn't reinvent a palette color story. You just can't. But these smaller palettes that are a little bit more focused to meet a specific niche or a specific, you know, color box, color story for somebody, I feel like, and at a more affordable or smaller price range, will sell a little bit easier, because someone might look at a big palette and be like, well, only use like 5 of those shades, so I'm not going to buy it. But if you have a palette that only has 4 or 5, maybe 6 shades, and there's a variety of different color schemes, that's going to reach out to a lot more people. I feel like it'll be easy grabs for high-end brands. And so anyways, that's kind of what I feel like we'll see more of next year for high-end brands. And then on the other side of the scale, for drugstore brands, I kind of feel like we will actually be seeing more full palettes from the drugstore. And again, I'm thinking about like Milani, what they did with their 12-pan palettes, and even Maybelline delved into a little bit with their what was it, like pink lemonade palette and then the grape soda palette. Those are a little bit more of a bigger kind of palette for the drugstore. I know the drugstore has always had like quads and things like that, and Wet n Wild has kind of had somewhat bigger palettes. But I just mean, like, for drugstore, I do feel like we will be seeing more actual full-size palettes, because I do feel like when you saw a drugstore come out with like an actual palette, that was almost groundbreaking too. Who was the first one that did it? I feel like it was it Maybelline who came out with their nudes palette or something? I cannot remember. I don't even know if that was last year or before, but I feel like that was kind of groundbreaking, and I just feel like we will see a little bit more of that from the drugstore. And while this is like kind of a switch from high-end, I feel like it'll be an easier sell for drugstore, because it'll be still at the lower price point, maybe the same price as the minis for the high-end, or maybe a little bit less. But because it's drugstore, a little bit more easy accessible, or whatever the case may be, I don't know, I feel like that'll do well. But I don't know, that's just kind of what I'm thinking. I'd love to know your guys' thoughts. Anyways, number 7 is, what trends or products do you see growing in popularity in 2019? And I didn't say anything for products, but as far as trends that I see growing, I just wrote down this, and again, I don't know if this quite answers or this is quite a trend, but this was kind of like my thought process. I said I feel like minimal or more like natural makeup looks will be a little bit more on trend. I feel like so much this year has been about over-the-top, heavily chiseled and contoured faces and like cut creases, like harsh lines, you know what I mean? And I kind of get the sense that has recently, that look is slowly starting to fade and taper away. And I'm sorry, I'm reading, but I said, that's not to say that we still won't see like fun color or creative looks, but I just feel like the trend will be like softer looks, softer lines. Instead of those harsh lines and the sculpted obvious contours and the cut creases, I just feel like the trend of soft lines will be more on trend next year. What do you guys think? All right, moving on to question number 8, which ties in a little bit with question number 7, and that is, what trends or products do you see lessening in popularity in 2019? And I kind of, I guess, already answered that with my answer in the last question of seeing less harsh lines. But anyways, I do also have a product that I feel like we will see less of in 2019. I feel like face palettes in the sense of like contour kits or highlighting kits or blush palettes, like where you see, you know, a palette with a bunch of different options for a bunch of different skin tones. I kind of just feel like they will die down, if not stop completely, at least for being released to like the mainstream consumers and not professional makeup artists. Obviously there is a place for those kind of products if you are working MUA, but as far as for like general you know, population, that sounds so like weird, and like, is that the right word I'm thinking of? Let me just read my notes. I said I personally have been over these for a while now, which I have. I'm just really over them. I like just using my single pan of bronzer or contour, my single blush, and my single highlight. I don't necessarily reach for my contour palettes or anything like that. Anyways, I've been over these for a while now. They were exciting at first, thinking of the variety you could have, but honestly, unless you're working MUA, oftentimes, pretty much every time, those palettes are just unnecessary. And I'm personally sick of seeing them hyped up to the average consumer. We do not need these. So it would have been better if I just read it in the first place. I pretty much summed it up right there. We don't need those. I feel like the hype for them has died down, even though I have seen some people release these things and people do get excited about them. But I feel like we will see less and less, if not no more of those in 2019. Number 9, what, if any, celebrity or influencer do you predict will come out with their own makeup line in 2019? And I actually did not write down an answer for this just because I guess I could have given it more thought for an influencer, but I really just could not see anyone. That's just me. I guess I'm not creative in that line of thinking. I think maybe someone could answer this if they have an influencer that they really love and would like to see come out with a line. I'm not there. I don't have someone in mind for that as far as an influencer. And then when it comes to celebrities, I'm really not like into like celebrity culture or whatever you want to call it. Like, I'm not someone who, like, I don't really know anything about celebrities. I don't keep up with celebrities. I don't really watch TV. I watch movies here and there, but I don't like watch a ton of movies. Like, really the entertainment I watch is YouTube, and that's it. I'm like, my entertainment comes from online, so if it's not YouTube or like Instagram, I don't really consume TV or movies that much, so I don't really even know who's in right now. So there's just not anyone that comes to mind that I could think of, like, who I would know is even relevant that I could imagine would come out with a makeup line right now. My creativity is kind of lost in that aspect. I don't know, and part of me kind of just doesn't care. I know that sounds really, really harsh, but I know there are people who really love when their favorite celebrity comes out with a makeup line, does something. People are excited about it because it's their favorite celebrity, and I'm just like, I mean, I know who that is, but I don't care. Sorry, that's a lame answer. That's not me. That's not who I am. All right, let's move on because I could probably ramble on and on about that forever. Where is that hair? All right, moving on to the very last question. This is, what did you learn during your 2018 makeup life that you'll bring into 2019? And again, I kind of tied this in to my YouTube channel, not just, you know, makeup in general. And so I don't know if this answers this question well, but it's just something I was kind of thinking about. And it just, I wrote down that in 2017 on my channel, I was really more so indie brand focused. I focused on a lot of indie brands, and that was kind of like my heart and passion, and I love that. And it's not that I don't still enjoy indie brands, but I kind of was like, I wanted to kind of expand out. So kind of I had this goal, and I think I said it in the beginning of this year, that I wanted to try more drugstore brands. So in 2018, I did focus a lot more on drugstore brands here on my channel. Obviously, I still had other brands and high-end brands because I am on PR, so I did do videos including those kind of things and high-ends and a lot of different, you know, variety on my channel, but I feel like I did a really good job focusing on, you know, drugstore brands and stuff like that. And so just, I guess, thinking along those lines and that aspect, like, what do I want to do in 2019 that'll be a little bit different, or that I want to kind of carry into 2019 for my channel, or just my makeup thought and life in general. And I really just wrote, focus on using up what I have. Buy less, use up more products. And I feel like this is kind of a popular or trending thing right now, but maybe it's not just right now. I feel like it's probably like this for the end of a lot of years, or even maybe the beginning of a lot of years for makeup people. I could be wrong, but I don't know. I just maybe haven't noticed it before. And now I'm just seeing it trending a little bit more. But, you know, the whole no buy or, you know, kind of thing. And I think that's great. I'm not gonna put myself on a no buy. I think I talked about why I don't do no buys. Did I? I can't remember. I feel like there's some video where I talked about why I don't do no buys and why I don't do project pans and things like that. And while it's not that I think there's anything wrong with doing that. I just have my reasons why I don't do that, and I don't put those limitations on myself. But do I try to use up products? Yes, I do. Do I try not to spend and consume too much? Yes, I do. I really do. I mean, that's not to say I won't buy things, and I don't sometimes buy things that I don't need. I obviously do sometimes, but I really feel like I do a good job at not overdoing it. I know I feel like I talked about this in other videos. I'll try to link them if I have to find them, if you'd like to hear me talk a little bit more and explain myself a little bit better. But anyways, going back to kind of like what I would like. And again, I don't even know if this really answers the questions, but I just want to talk about it just because it's kind of like, it is kind of a goal of mine. It is something that I want to do, and I do want to use up more of what I have. I don't need to buy, I mean, I don't need makeup anyways, but I really don't need to buy anything. And because I do get PR, I get stuff for free, so I'm very, very fortunate. But I did talk about this year about being overwhelmed with makeup. And I had a video on that. I talked about like being overwhelmed with makeup, and that I ended up putting a surprise giveaway in that video, and it was a lot of fun to do that. But the message behind that was true and was real, that it is very overwhelming to have so much makeup and so much products and feel just overwhelmed. It's just too, it really is just too much. And I have so much makeup. I'm constantly giving away product, decluttering things. I don't always show that on here. I'm gifting products and things like that because I have an overabundance. I have more makeup than I could ever use in like 10 lifetimes. It's ridiculous. And so I kind of just really want to, like, I don't have a goal of I want to try you know, more high-end brand, but like as years passed where I was kind of indie focused and then drugstore focused, I don't really have a focus on a specific thing for next year, but my focus really is just trying to use more of what I have. I really want to bring to you guys content about using the products I have and bringing more content using palettes that I have in my collection already, and kind of giving you guys more than just like, let me show this palette one time on my channel and that's it, never like show it again. Like I want to come back and bring to you guys like more tutorials using palettes we already have and love, so we don't just forget about it, kind of just using like shop what's in my collection kind of a thing. And I know that's not like a new thing. A lot of people already do that, and I don't imagine I'll have like a focused like shop my stash kind of videos or anything. I don't know, that's just kind of what's on my mind for coming into next year. Does that mean I won't feature new makeup? No, because I get it in PR, so most likely I'm gonna, you know, show what I get and use it and kind of like review it, as I don't like the word review, you guys know that, but you know, share my thoughts on things and use it and stuff like that. But I don't know, I kind of just I just want to really focus on using and appreciating what I have and showing you guys more that you can do with something that you already have as well, instead of we just see it once, use it once, and then we forget about it and we're moving on to the next thing, if that makes sense. And let me go ahead and read the question again, just because I feel like I got way off tangent on that. What did you learn during your 2018 makeup life that you'll bring into 2019? I mean, I guess that kind of answers the question. I just learned that it can be very, very overwhelming to have so much makeup, and I've always kind of known that, not just with makeup, but just with anything. Anytime you have an overabundance of something, it can be very overwhelming. It doesn't mean I'm not grateful, but sometimes it just, it's hard to appreciate what you have when you're not wanting for anything. And I don't ever want to get to a place where I don't appreciate what I have and I'm just so out of touch with with like the average person who doesn't get things for free. Like I do appreciate everything I have. I am very grateful for being on several PR lists and receiving items for free, but I don't take for granted like how much that actually costs and what you guys are spending based on my recommendation of something and things like that. So I guess it's not a new thing that I've learned, but it's something that I really want to take into more consideration for others as well as just myself, and to be able to use up and appreciate the stuff I have, and not, you know, always side-eyeing like something new, something, you know, whatever it is. So I don't know if that makes sense, but that's what I wrote down, and I really hope you guys enjoyed hearing my thoughts on this question and just all the questions in general. I'd love to hear your thoughts on these questions. If you feel like answering any of them, please do so. Leave a comment with your answers, or if you have a YouTube channel and decide to do this tag, let me know because I want to pop over and watch. Of course, head over to Alexandria's channel and check out her video if you are have not heard of her channel before, and show her some love. And with all that being said, I just want to thank you so much for watching, and until next time, much love and hugs to you. Bye, beauty babes. Mwah!